Howdy, folks. I just wanted to pop on with what I thought was a pretty important headline that came out today. And I wanted to make sure to get it out in a timely fashion because I think it really illustrates the situation at hand here. So let me go ahead and take you over to the browser view, and then we will go from there. So anyway, we've got an article here out of RT, which I'll link down in the description of the video. It's titled Costco to impose buying limits on toilet paper, bottled water amid uptick in Delta-related demand, the CFO says. So as we dig a little deeper into the article, this is what it says. A major U.S. discount retailer said it will resume limits on purchases of certain key items, including toilet paper and bottled water, with the company's CFO claiming the COVID-19 Delta variant is driving a major run on inventory. Costco, which operates more than 500 big box retail stores across the U.S. and 200 plus abroad, announced the upcoming buying limits during an earnings call on Thursday, according to a transcript obtained by Alpha Street. Leading the call, Chief Financial Officer Richard Galanti outlined a number of pressures on supply chains and noted an uptick in demand due to the pandemic. The factors pressuring supply chains and inflation include port delays, container shortages, COVID disruptions, shortages on various components, raw materials and ingredients, labor cost pressures, and trucker and driver shortages, Galanti said, adding that planning is crucial given those challenges. That's a lot of stuff that is all going against our supply chain, okay? A lot of stuff. So the article goes on to say this. The CFO did not say exactly when the limits would be reintroduced, with Costco having previously been limited purchases for certain goods in the early days of COVID-19. Illustrating the reasons for some shortages, Galanti cited the example of one cleaning company that's struggled to keep items on the shelves, saying it faces different problems now than it did in 2020. A year ago, there was a shortage of merchandise. Now they've got plenty of merchandise, but there's 2 to 3 week delays on getting it delivered because there's a limit on short-term changes to trucking and delivery needs of the supplier, he said. The CFO also observed that major shortages in computer chips are still impacting many items, including tablets, video games, and major appliances, suggesting those problems will likely extend into 2022. The revived buying limits come after countless companies imposed similar rules last year as the pandemic got underway, leaving store shelves stripped of certain essentials, perhaps chief among them, toilet paper. Though retailers have bounced back somewhat since the initial phase of panic buying in March, the CEO of Brazilian wood pulp producer warned that another global TP shortage could be around the corner, arguing that a lack of shipping containers could produce a severe bottleneck for distribution. Fears of fuel shortages in the UK have also driven a spate of panic buying in recent days, seeing long lines of cars pile up at gas stations across the country on Friday. Some petrol stations were even forced to close their doors after running out of fuel entirely, while others imposed buying limits. UK Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has insisted that issues are logistical and that the country had plenty of gasoline, claiming the real shortage was in truck drivers rather than fuel itself. And again, I'll leave the link to this article in the description of the video, but I think it really illustrates what's going on right now. And I'll tell you what, I don't see it getting any better. I only see it getting worse. I think supplies are going to continue to run out. And I think anything that you need to get right now, you better get on, especially if it's supplies, things that you absolutely have to have, things that you need, okay? I'm not talking about just things that you want. If you're covered for the things that you need, you feel comfortable with what you have already, and there are things that you want, I don't see things getting any better. I know that there are many people that have been holding out, making purchases on things, hoping that prices would come back down. I know I do flight simming, and I know a lot of people in the flight simming world are talking about the just insane cost of the video cards, and how they're selling for like double of the manufacturer's retail price, suggested retail price. And I don't think there's any end in sight. I do not think that this is going to fix itself. In fact, I think, honestly, it's going to get much worse. So hold on to your hat, folks. Take care of what you need to get now. Shalom.